So this is going to be the first review, so 5.1 to 5.4, so it's going to be functions, slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and stuff like that. So if f of x equals negative x plus 1, my domain is negative 2, 0, and 2. So domain is always my x values, so I have 3 different x values. F of x means the same thing as y, so we're going to cross that out and put y equals negative x plus 1. Okay, now I got to plug in my 3 different x values because I'm trying to find range, which is my y values. So I'm going to put y equals negative, I'm plugging in negative 2 plus 1, y equals negative 0 plus 1, and y equals negative 2 plus 1. Okay, whenever I'm inserting a number, I'm going to put parentheses because when I put a negative number in for a negative x here, it's going to change it to a positive. So there's going to be 2 plus 1, so y is going to equal 3. Negative times 0 is going to give me still 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative times 2 is negative 2 plus 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So I'm going to have these as my ranges. Okay, domain is on my x values. So x value, x value, x value, x value. So negative 1, 4, and 6. And then my range is on my y values. So all of these. So I'm going to get 0, 3, 5, 7. Okay, you can tell whether it's a function based on if my x's repeat. Okay, my x's repeat, then it's not a function. So is it a function? No, because if I plotted those points, it would cross my vertical line test twice. So it is not a function because my x's repeat. Okay, we're going to plot these points. So 2, 3. Remember, when we're plotting points, we have to walk to the elevator before we write it. So I'm going to go right 2, because it's positive 2, and up positive 3. So there's that one. Negative 1, 1, I have to go left 1 and then up 1 because left is negative, up is positive. 1, negative 1, I go right 1, down 1. 2, negative 3, I have to go left for the negative and down for the negative. And 0, 0, I stay in the middle. That's going to be my origin. So remember, you walk to the elevator because it's your x first, and then you ride the elevator to do your y. Okay, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, with m being my slope, b being my y-intercept. Point slope, I'm going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, with my point that I'm plugging in as x1, y1. Okay, so if m equals 2 and my point is 1, 1, I have my slope because that's what my m stands for, so I just need to plug all this stuff into my point slope equation. So I'm going to get y minus, since this is x1, y1, I'm going to plug them in. So y minus 1 equals my slope times x minus my x1, which is 1. Okay, I can actually go from this to slope-intercept by just solving it. So if I solved this to get my slope-intercept, I'd get y minus 1 equals 2x, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. I add 1, so y equals 2x minus 1. So that's going to be my slope-intercept. Another way that I can do it, if I erase all this, since I have my slope and my point, I could just plug it in. So I'm going to get 1 equals 2 times 1 plus b. So 1 equals 2 times 1 is 2. I subtract 2, so my b is going to equal negative 1. And then I have to rewrite my equation with my slope. So y equals 1 times x minus 1. Oh, my slope was 2, sorry. That should be 2. So you get the exact same thing. Okay, so my point slope, I'm going to get 1 minus negative 4, do not leave off a negative, equals my slope times x minus 3, because this is x1, y1. So 2 negatives make a positive, so I'll get 1 plus 4 equals negative 1 times x minus 3. Okay, I could solve this to find my slope-intercept, so if I did that, I'd get y plus 4 equals negative x plus 3. I'd subtract 4, so I'd get y equals negative x minus 1. Okay, or I could plug my point and slope in, so I'd get negative 4 equals negative 1 times 3 plus b. So I plugged my slope and my point in. So I'm going to get negative 4 equals negative 3 plus b, add 3. So my b is equal to negative 1, but that is not an equation. So I need to rewrite it with my given slope and my y-intercept I just found. So y equals negative x minus 1. So you get the exact same equation. Okay, this time I want to find slope. So my equation for slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So on top I'm going to get 4 minus 1. Bottom I'm going to get 7 minus 1. So I'm going to get 3 over 6. 3 over 6 reduced is 1/2. Okay, so my slope is 1/2. Okay, so now I need to use, this is the same slope that we just found. I want to find my point slope equation. Okay, so I could use either points. So I'm going to use both points so that you can see which ones. So if this is my x1, y1, I'm going to get y minus 1 equals my slope times x minus my x1. If I wanted to do my other point, I would get y minus 4 equals my slope times x minus my x. So we found my slope to be 1/2. So I could find my point slope equation and solve. Otherwise, I can pick a point and plug it in. So let's try that. So I'm going to put 1 equals 1 times my slope plus b. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. I subtract 1/2 from both sides. So b should equal 1/2. I rewrite my equation with my slope and my y-intercept. So I'm going to get y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2. And there is my slope-intercept equation. Okay, now I want to graph it. So I had y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2. This is going to be hard because I made it a 1/2. So I need to go up 1/2 because we always do our y-intercept first. So we're going up 1/2 because of that. And then you go up 1 to the right 2 because up, that's positive, so we go up 1. And then the 2 is also positive, so we go right. If we want to make them both negative, we can go down 1 and to the left 2 because down is negative and left is negative. And then we connect our points. Okay, we always start with this on my y-axis. It is my y-intercept, so we start on my y-axis at positive 1. Okay, this is the same as negative 2 over 1, so I go down 2, boop, boop, and then to the right 1, because down is negative, so that means my right needs to be positive. I could also go up 2, which is positive 2, but it has to be negative, so I need to go left. And you could tell that it is a decreasing line because that negative slope. Okay, y equals negative x. Right now I don't have a y-intercept, so I could add a plus 0 to make this easier. So I'm going to start at 0, 0. Oops. Okay, then this is the same thing as negative 1 over 1. So if I go down 1, then I have to go to the right. If I go up 1, that's positive, but I need it to be negative, so I need to go to the left. And then I need to connect my points with arrows. And it is a negative slope, so it should be decreasing, and it is. Graph y equals negative 3. Well, right now I don't have an x in here for a slope, but I can add one. So y equals 0x minus 3. So I'm going to start at negative 3 on my y-axis. I'm going to go up 0, but to the right 1, or up 0 to the left 1. And you can also remember my little skier saying, why am I doing this? Because it is y equals something. So it should be a horizontal line on your y-axis. X equals 4. I don't have a slope because I don't have anything where it's y equals mx plus b. Okay, so on my x-axis, since it is x equals, I'm going to go to positive 4. And you have to remember your little skier falling off the cliff and dying. They have X's in their eyes. Okay, so it is going to be a vertical line this time. Okay, with an undefined slope because we don't have a slope that we can define in this. Okay, we're going to start at positive 1 on my y-axis because that plus 1. This is negative 3 over 2, so if I go down 3, that's my negative. So now I have to do positive, so I have to go to the right 2. Or I can go up 3, but I still need to make it negative, so I need to go to the left 2. And it should be a decreasing line since it is a negative slope. Okay, this, I don't know how to graph this, so I'm going to solve it so I can figure out what my equation is to graph. So if I distribute that negative 3, I'm going to get negative 3x minus 12. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, so I'm going to get y equals negative 3x minus 10. So I'm going to start at negative 10. on my y-axis. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's positive, so now I need to go to the left to keep it negative. Okay, I could also go down 3, 1, 2, 3. That's negative, so I need to keep it positive for the next part, so I need to go to the right one. It should be a decreasing line because it is a negative slope. Equation of this line. So if I'm writing my equation in y equals mx plus b, the one thing I notice is I can find my y-intercept because it crosses my y-axis at 1. So I can replace that with 1. Okay, now the next thing I need is a slope. So if I'm going from this point to this point, I am going up 1. So going up is positive, and I'm going left 2. Since I'm going left, it's negative, so that means my slope is 1/2. So my equation now is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. So you just find your y-intercept, and then you find your slope from one point to the next point. Right in slope-intercept form, so I need to get it to be y equals mx plus b. So I need my x here, and I need my y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4x. So I'm going to get 2y equals 10 minus 4x. Divide everything by 2. What you do to one side, you do to everything on the other side. So I got y equals 5 minus 2x now. But my x needs to be here because we're trying to get it in a slope-intercept form. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2x. That negative goes with it, plus 5. Now it's in a form that I can graph it.